Well, howdy there, Internet students. This is Mr. Hermanson here. We are going to start our lessons on 7.2 right now. This first lesson is 7.2a, Inequalities. You should find this page in your notes. First of all, inequalities are where there's actually more than one solution, and the symbols we use for inequalities are right here. This first one is less than. Second one is greater than. And then the other ones just mean that it can be less than or equal to or greater than or equal. And here's some examples of inequalities. All right, so first of all, we're just going to learn how to write inequalities. So I'm going to go ahead and do a couple problems with you. Problem 1, it says what inequality represents the verbal expression? All real numbers. Now we're going to use a variable to represent that are less than or equal to 5. So this x stands for all the numbers that are less than or equal to 5. So that would be numbers like -3, 4.9, things like that. Second one says 4 less than a number, y, is greater than 10. Now 4 less than a number, that means we need to take 4 away from the number first. So that's going to look like this, y minus 4. And then greater than is this sign, points to the right, 10. The third one, all numbers p that are greater than or equal to 1.5. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Just use the greater than or equal to sign, 1.5. Now, one thing I should point out is each of these has an equivalent inequality. I can just switch this around if I switch the sign around. So saying 5 is greater than all these numbers is the same as saying all these numbers are less than or equal to 5. So likewise, you could switch this around and it would mean the same thing. Just remember you need to switch the sign around when you do that. Okay, now problem 2. Is each number a solution of this? So it's basically just going to be a true or a false. So if I put 4 here in where the x is it true or is it false? So I'm going to do 3 times 4 minus 2 and just see if that's less than -1. Well, 3 times 4 is 12, minus 2 is 10. What we need to figure out is 10 less than -1. Definitely not true. So we're going to say no for A. So for B, we're going to do 3 times -3 minus 2, which is -9 minus 2 is -11. Is -11 less than -1? That is definitely true. So we're going to say yes, it's a solution. What is one other solution? We're going to find that we can actually solve this inequality like we solve equations, but we saw that -3 is a solution, so probably a number like -4 would also be a solution, and you can check that if you want. 3 times -4 minus 2 is -14, and that's definitely less than -1. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you the answers. I'm going to suggest that you pause, and then you're going to try and figure out these answers, and then you start the video again, and you can see if you were correct. All right, so here's your answers there. Okay, now we're just going to review graphing. Remember that a closed dot on a graph means that the number is part of the solution. So that would be when you're using like less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. An open dot is not part of the solution. So you're going to use an open dot when you have a less than or a greater than. So, the inequality that's represented by this first graph here is Since the open circle is on -3, that means we want all the numbers, and then the arrow means these numbers up here, which are bigger than -3. So we're going to say x is greater than -3. On the second one, notice that it's a closed circle. That means we're going to include -3, and then we want all the numbers that are smaller than that. So we're going to say x is less than or equal to -3. All right. Go ahead and you try these next two. This would be a good place to just pause it real quick, and then you can check back and see if you're right. All right, so in problem 3 here, we're just going to go graph those. And since we have B here, basically you want to just say this out loud. It says 4 is greater than or equal to all the numbers that are part of the solution. So we're going to find 4 on the graph and make a closed circle there. And since we want 4 to be greater than all the numbers, that means we want to highlight all of these on this side. So 4 will be greater than all of those. Another way to look at that is all the numbers that are less than or equal to 4. Okay. And then on the second one, we want to put an open circle on -4, and we want the numbers to be greater than. So that means numbers this way. So you need to somehow fill those in and show that the solutions continue. All right. And again, you can pause this video anytime you want. Like right now, if you thought you knew how to do this, go ahead and pause it, and then you can check back and see if you got the answers right. All right, so here's your first homework. Go ahead and do that homework page, and then you can show me that you did it by sending me a picture of your work. All right, good luck.